Good morning and welcome to our final devotions for Advent 2. It has been a joy this week just sharing with you and reflecting on the messages from the Gospel of Luke. As we bring this week to an end, I pray that we may reflect or even at some time just revisit some of the devotions and to really see what has been coming up in your hearts as you have listened and as you have shared. We continue to journey on to our season of Christmas, and we do so, no doubt, with great expectancy as we look forward to this time. But as usual, the preparation is also significant, and we must not lose sight of this season of Advent and all that it has in store for us. So coming now into our place of quiet, peaceful, restful state of openness, in that peaceful, restful state, I invite you to come into your heart space and to take a few breaths. With each breath, allowing yourself to become more aware and also to become more relaxed. To really find that place of stillness within you. That place that exists in a sense before time began. That place that takes you back to the dawn of creation. That beginning place. And recognize the true self that you are, without all the baggage, all the concerns, without all the fears, all the guilt, the remorse, the unforgiveness, the unwillingness to be forgiven, the refusal to forgive ourselves. Without all that, just you. You and God alone. The original face. The face before. So important to know that face, to be conscious of it in our day-to-day lives, to be able at times to return to it, and to use it as a reference point, a space out of which we engage the world. In a place of stillness, we turn this morning to our readings from Luke's Gospel, chapter 22, reading verse 14 and onwards. When the hour came, Jesus took his place at the table, and the apostles with him. He said to them, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I will not eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Then he took a cup, and after giving thanks, he said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I tell you that from now on I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes. Then he took a loaf of bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said to them, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And he did the same with the cup after supper, saying, This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. But see, the one who betrays me is with me, and his hand is on the table. For the Son of Man is going as it has been determined. But woe to that one by whom he is betrayed. Then they began to ask one another, which one of them it could be who would do this. A dispute also arose among them as to which one of them was to be regarded as the greatest. And Jesus said to them, The kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like one who serves. For who is greater, the one who is at table or the one who serves? Is it not the one at table? But I am among you as one who serves. You are those who have stood by me in my trials, and I confer on you, just as my Father has conferred on me, a kingdom, so that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and you will sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Here ends the reading. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Jesus, in his time with his disciples, as he breaks bread and shares the cup, and invites them into this special covenant relationship with him. And in the midst of this, the disciples are concerned with which one of them is the greatest. And Jesus reminds them that he has come among them as one who serves. The idea of service is oftentimes confused with servitude, and we tend to reject it, especially within our Caribbean context. But Jesus teaches us about a service that is not servitude, a service that is offered out of the warmth and goodness of the heart, a service which enables others to attain all that they're to attain, a service whose reward only is to know that one has done the will of God. For some this is enough, for others it may not be enough, but that sense of joining God in God's work, for me, is the ultimate. And it should be for us all who call on the name of God, to know that we are able to participate in a small way in assisting others to rise up. To rise up as a result of the service they might have received. To help them to see what kindness is, what compassion is, what generosity is. At times we fail to realize that ours might very well be a teaching moment. A moment when we teach others about what God is like, and also what they are called to be in God. Service is important. But in our world where everyone wants to reach the top, and where the top has forgotten that its main purpose is to serve the bottom, we are all lost. Because we have swallowed the notion of domination, and we equate moving up with the ability to dominate over, to have power over. We do not see moving up as a higher call to service, a greater responsibility for others. Instead, we often see it as something that we deserve, and it makes us better than others. But in this moment of devotion, ours is not the task to speak of what we may do or what we may not do. Ours is the task to be open to ask, what is God saying to us this morning? What is God seeking to accomplish in us today? As we hear these words, I have come among you as one who serves. What is that saying to me? As I come to the end of this week in which I have gone to work, in which I have engaged family members, in which I have engaged friends, as I look back, am I able to see moments of service? And if I am, how does it make me feel to know that I have been of service to others? Do I enjoy knowing that I have been of service to others? Ours is the simple task of getting to know God and getting to understand God's will for our lives. God just wants us to know who God is. Because in knowing who God is, we know ourselves. Just as Jesus did. In knowing who the Father was, Jesus knew who he was. And he knew that he came among them as one who serves. When we know who our Father is, when we know who the one that created us is, when we know the source of all of the universe, we know who we are. And we know how we are called to show up in this world. We get it. We get it completely. And we don't really need anyone else to show us. Because it is there. It is there in every act of God. God pouring God's self out in the service of all humanity, causing us to rise up. I come among you, not to be served, but as one who serves.
Take our bread, we ask you, take our hearts, we love you, take our lives. Oh Father, we are yours, we are yours. Yours as we stand at the table you set, yours as we eat the bread our hearts can forget. We are the sign of your life with us yet, we are yours, we are yours. Take our bread, we ask you, take our hearts, we love you, take our lives. Oh Father, we are yours, we are yours. Your holy people standing washed in your blood, Spirit-filled yet hungry, we await your food. We are poor, but we brought ourselves the best we could. We are yours, we are yours. Take our bread, we ask you, take our hearts, we love you, take our lives. Oh Father, we are